Hi, this is Mike from Minimal 3DP, and today I'm continuing work on my recent printer purchase, Ender 3 S1 Plus. I've discovered an issue with the printer that had to do with the hot end fan not working. Based on testing and taking a look at things, it looks like the motherboard's bad. So in this video, I'm going to replace the motherboard with a new board I bought off Amazon. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, when I tested the printer, everything appeared to be working, but then as I dug into things, it turns out the hot end fan wasn't working. Tested the breakout board on the Sprite Pro, and that was working fine. So it appears the issue, I believe, is actually the motherboard. So what I've done is purchased a new motherboard. Now, one of my issues is I'm not sure this motherboard is exactly right. This says it's for the S1 and S1 Pro. It doesn't mention the Plus, but reading the numbers on the chip, it looks like everything's the same. The first thing we're going to do is unpack the new board and just take a quick look and see if we're actually dealing with the same thing or not. So here's the original board out of the printer. And what I'm going to do is I have the new board. So let's just unpack this and see if they look the same. Now, what's interesting is it looked like there were several different prices for boards, and this one didn't actually say it was for the Plus, but it did have the same numbers and everything else. So I feel like I'm all right, but I just want to check it to make sure. So we'll take a quick look at things. Now, you notice in the bottom here, this does say Plus. Let me hold it up. So that says Plus there. Looking at this one, it does not say Plus. Now, the boards appear to have the same form factor. Throw the wrapper away. Everything appears to be the same. I'm not seeing any differences here. And as I mentioned, the numbers here on the chips appear to be the same. In fact, I'm going to have to look at the sticker on the back to tell which one's which. So now I'm hoping, like I said, that I've selected the right board. Now, one of the problems I found with the S1 Plus is I've looked at the Big Tree Tech boards, but it's really difficult. I'd have to rewire literally everything on this printer, and I really prefer not to go that far. So what I'm just going to do is do a replacement board. And like I said, everything appears to be the same. It's actually a good deal. So let me pause, and then we'll get over to the printer. As you can see, disassembled everything. And first things first, everything's unplugged. And I'm just going to look at cords here. Here's the bed. This is power. I'm not exactly sure what this is the filament runout sensor and one of the Z's. Display. So let me pull up a diagram of this board, and then we'll start the wiring process. So I've set up a view with both the bed diagram as well as the bottom of the printer. And what I'm going to do, start putting things together. First thing I do is I want to mark the board. So I go over to my desk camera. What I like to do is I'm just going to color these screws red. That way I can see it a little bit better. So that's where the red wire goes. Like I said, I just like to be able to see things a little bit better as I'm trying to put it together. I'm going to start with the board hanging loose, and then I'll switch to, then I'll buckle it in and plug in the rest. But initially, to do these plugs here in the back, both the heated bed and the power, I think it's easier to do with the bed, with the board unattached. So let's do that. So right now I have the bed on its side, and I have the power right here. So what I'm going to do is plug in the red first. Let me go ahead and tighten that. You can see what I'm doing. I basically just let the bed hang free. I mean the board, I'm sorry, I keep saying bed. I just want to put these in. These do have ferrules already on them, so that's good. Oops. And I don't have that in all the way. I like having the ferrule all the way seated in there. Okay. Now, that did not grab. So let's try that again. There we go. And then here's the bed. Now now I'm just going to test these. These feel like they're snug. Now I'm looking here. This, I believe, is the thermistor plug for the bed because it's running with the thermistor wires. That needs to be plugged right here. So now I have that all in. What I'm going to do is move these cords out and then go ahead and mount the board. And that way I could just see how that all fits. And what I'm going to do is just screw that in off camera, and then I'll come back and we'll continue with the wiring. The first thing I'm going to point out here after I got this mounted is I'm not putting in the display cable. I've taken that out. I'm going to run clipper on this, so I don't need the display. All I really need is the USB-C interface, so that way I can attach my Sonic pad. Once I have this back up and running, at least turning on, I'm going to do a new video showing how I set up clipper on here via the Sonic. I'm going to use a Sonic pad to run this. Let me continue with this. I have the Z interface cable here. That goes in the back. That's the Z-axis motor. Right here is that's the filament runout sensor. That's going to this port right here. Again, just looking at the diagram. Now, this one right here is right up here. So I have that in. And then the only thing I have left is the cable for the hot end. And that's going to run right here. I'm going to plug that in right here. I don't like the way that's sitting. I felt like it slotted right that time. Now, this cord's going to come up right to about here. Put this over the top. And see if I can get this in right. So that clips in there. Now this doesn't look like it has enough clearance, but the feet make sure it clears. I'm going to put another one down in the bottom here to hold these cables in. Probably needs to be on the out. No, that fits right there. I have another one of these. And I'm not sure where this is going to go, or where this should have gone. Maybe I should have taken a picture. I think this was actually for the cable for the display. So I'm just going to put it aside and hope I'm all right. Now this cable should go up the top here. Everything looks like it's plugged in correctly. So I'm just going over everything, checking red to red. Everything's in tight. Everything's still plugged in the bottom here. So what I'm going to do is put the bottom plate on, and then we'll turn the printer over and we'll make sure she turns on. So let me go ahead and do that. I'll pause and I'll be right back. Now I actually have one more cord to plug in. I forgot. That's the motherboard fan. That's going right up in here. So I'm going to plug that in. Guess that's plugged in. Prop that up and let me pause and I'll put the bottom on. Now since I don't have a screen on here, I can't configure anything. So what I'm just going to do is plug everything up, make sure it comes back on, and then I'll switch over and work on installing Clipper. And you'll get to see how we do that on this printer. Okay, so I have that all plugged in. I have the power in, so let me turn it on. Okay. And right now things are looking good because if you notice the CR touch did a check. I can hear the printers on. So I believe I have everything configured properly or at least wired correctly. So what I'm going to do is switch over to my second video. And so I'll create a new video that is configuring the Sonic pad to work with this machine. And so you'll follow along with those steps and we'll continue from there. So let me just get this cord in here right. And so I'll pause here and then switch over to a different video. And I'll link at the top for the new video so you can watch that as well. Thank you for your time and hope to talk to you soon. Hi, this is Mike from Minimal 3DP and I want to thank you for joining me today. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below. If you need some additional help, I've also posted some links in the video description. You can set up a 15-minute help session with me and I'm more than happy to sit down with you and see if I can help you out. If you need some additional help, I'm also going to try doing 1-hour sessions for anybody that's interested. And like I said, I'm testing this stuff out. I want to thank you again for joining me and I look forward to talking to you again next time. Thanks. Have a good day.